Hey, what's going on, good people? Welcome back to Random TV, where we're going to break down this case once again, point out their do's and don'ts of how and why they lost their case. This is another good one. Let's check it on out. I'm not going to hold y'all up too long. Let's check it out.
Please.
So the plaintiff slash YouTuber slash mechanic is suing the other guy for not paying for some car work.
What is your usual line of business?
I'm retired military and started my own business. I do YouTube and I teach mechanics and I have a small shop.
And did the defendant bring his car to you?
Yes, ma'am.
When?
He brought it to me, I think it was the end of...
Judging off looks, who do y'all think is going to win this case?
Do you remember, Mr. Hills, when you brought the car?
I do. It was approximately second last week to March of 2021, and which time he had the car until May of 2021.
Just a second.
Thank you.
March of 2021.
Yes.
And he had the car until when?
Yeah, about 8 weeks until all this happened in May.
It seems like he's got a lot of information, so I kind of think he's going to win, but let's check it out.
Until May of 2021.
May 21st was when we went to pick up the car.
Those dates sound right to you, Mr. Northridge?
No, ma'am. I had the car for 8 months, sat on my property, and it was...
From when to when?
I think it was around maybe...
No, I don't want you...
Yes, ma'am.
One thing is you have to know your date, you have to know your fact. You can't come here confused.
When did you get the car?
Look how confused this guy's face is. I don't know about him. He don't seem too confident. Look at his face. He looks confident.
Any communication with him that you got the car in September of 2020? Look at your papers. You got a lot of stuff in front of you.
I do not have anything for the exact date of when I received the vehicle.
I don't need an exact date. I need a month and a year. So far,
this is the first I've seen somebody so confused about their case.
Roger that. I do not have any of that.
You're the plaintiff.
Yes, ma'am.
So what proof do you have?
Listen to Judge Judy. Even she's confused about how do you not know when this all occurred, what happened to you? How do you not know?
But you have a whole bunch of papers there.
I do, ma'am. I have receipts and pictures and everything.
No, I need the date. I want to know what you're all doing.
Even Judge Judy's getting flustered. I don't see how all that paper on both of their desks and none of them has a date to none of this when this happened.
An expeditious way. Mr. Northridge.
Yes, ma'am.
Why are you here 3.5 years later?
I had to press charges on the defendant because he stole the vehicle off my property.
Your Honor, here's us telling
I don't want you to speak.
Yes, Your Honor.
The defendant didn't steal his car off your property. He had police there.
That's not true, ma'am. I have the police report.
Would you put that down?
I think I take it back. Maybe he won't win. He's kind of messing me up now.
This in a more orderly fashion, although I don't know if it's possible. What kind of car?
So now it looks like she's about to try to take a different approach at it. I'm very surprised she hasn't thrown out the case yet, but let's check it out.
No, it was on fire.
Just a second.
Yes, ma'am.
Did he just say it was on fire?
He said it was on fire.
It had previously been on fire.
Don't be stupid with me. It wasn't on fire.
I love watching the crowd. The guy behind him's just like, this can't be real.
He brought it into you, and he had it towed.
Yes.
Did you do an analysis on the car that day?
Yes, ma'am.
Can I see the first communication that you had with him?
I have 3 of the text authorizations for work that needed to be done that I sent to him on text, and then the pictures of it done.
What were the dates?
I don't have the dates.
Can I see that, Kevin, please?
You know what? I can't be mad at this guy because I don't keep good records. A lot of guys don't keep good records. So, I mean, can I really blame him?
So, Mr. Hills, there was a fire in your car.
It's not true.
You know, when people start shifting their weight back and forth like that and they can't look with my eye, it always makes me think that they're lying. And Judge Judy pays attention to that, and she thinks the same thing.
Absolutely true.
For what?
I had previously had $2,000 in work done at a garage, and I wasn't happy. My son recommended that Mr. Northedge would help me because he helped my son repair his motorcycle or a friend's motorcycle. Since Mr. Northedge was a veteran, I trusted in him. And,
he looks flustered right now.
I wasn't happy with the previous garage's work.
Just a second. You were dissatisfied with the work previously done to the car.
Absolutely.
And the car, you say, at the time you brought it to him, was drivable. You brought it there.
Absolutely.
Okay. You have any proof of that?
The proof that I have is that I've been using the car previously to promote my business.
No.
Here are photos of the car at work. The car was also taken to many events.
Just a second.
I thought it was a much nicer newer Cadillac. It's not even a collectible. They still have not given her that date.
To exchange.
Yeah, I'd like to see the text messages. They are dated, I assume.
I believe they are, yes.
Well, the first text message that I have is April 17th, 2021.
It started in March and went till May.
In 2021.
In 2021.
That's what I see, because you write
We
here,
finally got some type of date.
found another short. This was in the rear driver brake light. Going to start the brakes today. This is all in April of 2021, sir.
Right. I did $5,000 worth of work, ma'am. It takes way more than that.
I don't think he understands. She wants a timeline.
See, something with a date on it
Roger.
prior to April of 2021. Do you have anything? The answer is either yes
No.
or no. So the answer is no. Well, it's your case. You don't have anything. I can't help you. So this is all around.
I don't think he
April of
understands that him not
2021, but you're
knowing these
already
dates, having his
working on the
timeline is
car
hurting his
at
case.
that point.
And I
Not
don't think
working
he
on the car for a
understands
year.
that.
I got it. So
ma'am.
when were the police called?
So far, the plaintiff lost his case. The defendant had a chance to win his case. Look at the chick in the background behind him. Don't she look like she's falling asleep? But the plaintiff lost his case. The defendant, let's see how his goes. He has a better chance of winning. Look at her behind
When
him.
were the police called to get the defendant's car?
The police report says 5/17/2021.
Okay. And he gave you $750 to fix it.
Yes, he did.
That was a deposit.
He gave me 3 payments of $250. Yes, ma'am.
So now,
Oh my
tell
God, the
me
way
what
she took out
caused
the glasses, the
brouhaha,
tears
sir.
in his eyes.
I'm a retired vet. I was looking for another job. A neighbor told Mr. Hill Jr. that I'm a good mechanic. He brought his motorcycle to me.
What date did you bring your motorcycle to him? So, because you
I'm
acknowledge
sorry,
that.
it was not my son brought him. This is how we kind of began.
Oh, now you can stand.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And your last name is Hills
I was starting
as
to think
well.
she was never going to call on him.
What date did you bring your motorcycle?
I met Mr. Northedge probably, I'd say February or March of 21, and I had recommended him to work on my father's car. I had talked to him previously.
Okay,
my
your father
dad's
had
car.
had trouble with his car in the past, taking it to other mechanics.
Yes, he had taken it to a
But
different
you-
mechanic.
How many different mechanics
gotta
had
be
your
real
father
careful
taken the
right here.
Cadillac to?
That I know of one other than Mr. Northedge.
And do you know when he took that to the other mechanic?
I know he has the bill here. I'm not 100% when he did.
What year?
I'd say 2020.
Okay. Are you familiar with this car? It used to belong to whom? Your grandfather?
You know, he's kind of lucky because he's been listening to the case, so he knows what information she wants, and he's able to provide it for her.
When the defendant brought you his car, did he tell you where he got the car from?
He said he had the car for a while. He wanted it to be redone. It's an antique. He wanted me to restore it.
Is that what he told you?
Yes, ma'am.
Positive.
Yes, ma'am. 100%.
That he had it for a while.
Yes,
Did you
ma'am.
ask him how long he had it?
He just told me that he'd had it for a while.
You really have to pay
all you
attention to
know.
Judge Judy because the way she said positive makes me think now she found something that's a lie.
Because you swore in a complaint, sir.
Yes.
You swore in a complaint that he told you that the car belonged to his father.
Yes.
Just a second.
I'm sorry.
That's what you swore in your complaint.
Yes.
That's clearly not what you remember now. You have something else to show me, which would suggest that he did tell you that the car belonged to his father?
Yes.
That Roger, that
like
just
to
gets
see
me
it,
every
though.
time. I never heard it used in the courtroom before.
You're Jason.
Yes.
Jason, my caddy daddy is loaning me another $500. Is that what you mean it belonged to his father?
That's what he told me.
No, you didn't tell me that he told you that it belonged to his father. That's not what you told me, sir. And so what I'm asking you is whether or not you
The way the
based this one
plaintiff is
statement
coming to
that he
court,
told
it
you
just
was
seemed
his
like he just
dad's
came
car on
hoping or
this
thinking he
Jason,
was
my
going to
caddy
win
daddy
with the evidence
is
that he
loaning
had.
me.
Right.
What do you mean, bah?
He told me that he got the car from his caddy daddy, which was his dad. And then he said that he was getting more money from the caddy daddy, which was his dad, to pay me.
Okay, he gave you $750. That's
Yes.
what he gave you. And when the car was taken
So he
back
thought his dad,
from
which would
your
be an
shop,
old
was
man
it
that was going to pay
towed
for the
or
car,
driven?
why?
It's towed.
Towed, which means it wasn't drivable.
Yes.
That's correct. About the same time, the police were there, either a little
Yes.
before, a little bit after. The police were there.
Yes.
Okay, all good. And do you have a proposal that he consented to with regard to the repairs on the car?
I have
That's
the-
a question.
Yes.
Do you have a proposal that you presented to him?
Yes.
I'd like to see it.
I think we're about to find out the obvious, which he is a hobbyist mechanic, as they say.
So you agreed on a total price, $2,572, for which you gave him a $750 deposit.
Correct.
leaving a balance of $1,822.
Right.
But when you got back the car had to be towed.
That's weird. I
Which
never
means it
picked up my
wasn't
car from the
drivable.
mechanic and had to get it towed
Just a
and
second.
couldn't drive it off the
Is
lot.
that
That's
correct?
weird.
No.
He drove the car off your lot. Is that what you're telling me?
Well, you asked a lot of questions.
No, it's one question. Was the car towed or driven off of his
was
lot?
towed.
Towed.
Yes.
Was it towed for some other reason than it was not drivable?
If you look on the invoice,
And no, just a second.
yes.
That's a
One thing
question.
Judge Judy is
Some
not going to
other
let you
reason.
do is dodge
What
her
was the other
questions
reason
and
it
not
was
answer
towed
them.
off the lot if it was drivable?
He refused to have me do the brakes, and it's on the invoice that needs work done that I did not charge him.
So it was not drivable,
Yes.
which is why he towed it.
Don't you hate when people just call at the wrong time? But you can't dodge Judge
So
Judy's
that
questions.
the
She's
work
always
was
going to
not
get her
completed.
answers.
That wasn't work that was on the invoice. That's work that needed to be done. It says on the invoice, ma'am. It says under contingency that I would give him that deal if he went to the car shows with me to represent the car, and that I would keep all rights, royalties of all the videos we did.
Okay,
It
okay,
says
so
it
he
in the
just said a whole lot. He gave her a
I
whole
don't have
lot.
a signed contract.
But
If somebody would
wait,
like to give me a
nobody
signed
signed
contract,
the
I'd like to look at
contract,
it.
it looked like.
Anybody have one?
Hey, ma'am.
Okay, so far you have $750 of a deposit, and what he retrieved from you was a car that had to be towed. And what you're suing him now for is $4,500.
Yes.
Are you out of your mind? You gave him a price, sir, according
Yes.
to you, $5,392.
I never understand why people come to court,
That's the
they sue
total
for a higher
regular
amount than what is
customer
due.
price is
Like,
what you say.
what
And
this
then
man
you
owes
say
him, he's
you
suing him for
reduce that
more
amount.
than what he owes
Just
him.
a second, you reduce that amount
Yes.
to $2,572. He gave you a $750 deposit, leaving a balance of $1,822.
On contingency, and it says on there that he did the videos with me, took the car to the car show, displayed my company name on his car.
And then
He
see
didn't
people do
anything.
stuff like this. They try to
Wasn't
pile
running,
on
had
all
me
this
told.
stuff
I want to
and then
see
think that they're going to get paid for it.
specific receipts for parts that you purchased where it says on them that you purchased parts for this 1981 Cadillac DeVille. And just look at them very carefully. Those are all the parts that are
Yes.
designated for the 1981 Cadillac DeVille.
Yes.
He has
Okay,
way
I'd
more
like to take a look
paperwork
at them.
on his counter, but yet it's barely helping him in his case.
Mr. Northridge, you say the car came to you in September of 2020.
Yes.
Okay. That's 9/20. You just gave me a receipt dated March of 2020.
Well, I was buying things the entire time that he was authorizing.
March of 2020 comes before September of 2020.
I don't even think this guy even understands how screwed up his case is just because of these two things, people. Just remember your dates and times is very important, as you can see. He don't even know how bad it's
Mark
hurting
is
him.
countersuing for a refund of the repairs Jason made to the vehicle.
Return this all to him.
Did you see the other?
I'm not even looking at it. Not even looking at
He
it.
got his timeline
Roger that.
thinking years to months away, and this is frustrating her, and he don't even notice
Tell me
that.
what it is.
His son texted me and said, "You think we're going to run off with the car and not pay?" Then after they came and looked at all the work I was doing, his son said he should have been more upfront about it. I guess he was under the assumption we could work it out. I don't know what we're working
Mr.
out.
Northridge, what we're working at is you gave me a bill from before you had the car, and I'm not looking at the rest.
Okay.
You have to understand
So
that. I said,
basically, the
"Sure,
evidence he
these
just presented
bills
just
that
hurt
you're
his
giving me,
case, all because
they're
of that
not
date.
designated for this car.
Roger.
Not Roger. The answer is yes.
Yes, ma'am.
They are
Sorry.
not
Okay.
designated for this car. You do a lot of work on cars, so I said, let me see what you bought for this car. And the first bill I looked at was from a date before you got this car in your possession by about half a year.
sorry, ma'am.
So I'm not looking at the rest.
So I hope you guys just learned two things. One, date timeline. Two, be careful what you submit because it can hurt you.
With this case.
I'm sorry.
Okay, good.
I knew it. I knew it. I knew he was going to lose. Boy, put that paper down. You lost your case already.
You.
I mean, it's
What
pretty
did he-
harassing when his son is texting me telling me they don't
So
have
now
money
he's getting
to pay for the
flustered
car.
and he's presenting evidence
he do
that has nothing to
to
do with
harass
what she's asking him about.
17th was when the police report was done. My birthday was on the 22nd of that same month.
I don't know what you're talking about. I asked you how he
He said he was gonna have
harassed
people
you.
stalking me.
Oh, well, I'd like to see. If you're telling me that he had people stalking you,
He said that.
I'd like to see it.
Authorities.
I hope he's submitting proof that's going to help his case. I really do. I really, really do.
Okay, so he says, good luck with that, Jason. There will be many others stalking you in the days that follow. If you have a lawyer already, send him my regards. And then you say to him, many people stalking me? You got police to stalk me, huh? And then there's something that's very light here. It said, yes, it will be the police and representatives from the city.
I don't know what harassment means to him, but none of that means harassment, especially not in her eyes.
Last month.
You have a return date on that?
He didn't come to court twice, so they have to keep postponing it. I have a temporary.
Just a second. So it has not been heard yet.
Well, they said I had a protection order now.
Now, listen to me. Don't look confused, sir. I don't believe that you're confused at all. I don't believe that you're confused
Hey,
at all.
I beg to differ. I think he really is confused. I think he's been confused his whole case, to be honest.
And you ask for a protective order. Sometimes, ex parte, which means only one person, the court will grant you a temporary order of protection that says until the matter is heard, that there shall be no assaulting, menacing, threatening, or harassing behavior. That's a temporary order. It has not been adjudicated by any court.
I think she just used a lot of big words for him, and she might have thrown him off and confused him just a little bit more.
Scheduled to be heard when?
June 10th.
June 10th. Well, then I'm not hearing anything that has to do with harassment. So I am dismissing that cause of action without prejudice.
This is a different case of harassment, ma'am.
I don't care what it's about. Is the only dealing that you have with him about his car?
I don't know if you guys ever paid attention to Miss Judy like this, but sometimes she don't listen to the case all the way, and she messes up your case in a sense.
This whole experience with the car, because this doesn't have to do with a girlfriend or a child born out of wedlock or a cousin or estate jewelry. This all has to do with his 1981 Cadillac and everything that ensued.
I honestly think she just wants to be done with this case at this point. I really do.
You have your case adjudicated, and I assume that you will be in court in June. Maybe. In any event, I'm not finishing this case that has anything to do with harassment, because that is going to be adjudicated in another place, because you already have a date in June. Are you not understanding me? If you're not understanding me, I'll appoint a guardian for you, because maybe there's something wrong with you. You're looking
Oh my God, when she takes her shot, she takes her shot. Look at the guy behind him. Check him out. I'm always in the crowd, I'm sorry. Check out the guy behind him. Look at him.
You have a protective order against him from a prior hearing?
No, you're not allowed to have a protective order in the state of New Jersey when this happened. I had to go to the police.
Did he just say that they don't have protective orders
Until
in the state of New Jersey?
2024, it's a new law. It just
They don't
started.
have orders of protection in New Jersey.
It's called a restraining order there.
Okay.
But they just started a new law called protection.
Look how she just put her glasses on. I think she just checked out.
Relationship.
Very good. You know what I'm going to tell you, Mr. Northridge? I'm going to tell you that I think you should have your whole case adjudicated in the state of New Jersey where you came from. So I'm dismissing this case, your case, without prejudice for you to proceed in the state of New Jersey. If you think
There
you got
goes
a
that
shot
confused
there, I have
face
to tell
again.
You don't have a shot here, so it's probably a very good thing for you. You have a counterclaim, and your counterclaim is refund on car repairs. Forget it.
Sure.
Do you want me to adjudicate?
She's
your
so fed up,
counterclaim,
she's
or do you
done.
want
She
me
just
to
wants
let
them to get out of her court at
go
this
back
point.
to New
She's just
Jersey?
fed up.
Okay.
Just a second.
Yes.
That's a
I
very
would like to
easy question.
adjudicate
Do you
our
want me to
counterclaim.
adjudicate your counterclaim?
So we just learned something else.
His
Don't tick
claim
off
is
the
going to New
judge.
Jersey. Do you understand?
Yes.
Refund on car repairs. You paid him $750. You're not getting that back. Money invested into vehicle. Other than the $750?
Yes, ma'am. I have $2,000 in prior bills from the last garage.
Who cares?
Well, it was work that was destroyed.
Who cares? I don't know that. You don't have another mechanic here. You have
I
your
do have
son.
the bills and the
So I don't think he understands at this point. She's basically checked out. But what I'm confused about is why is he trying to fix up this car? It's not a classic. It's not going to gain him value. He's not restoring it. Like, why is he fixing it?
second.
Part of the gist of this is he destroyed the car deliberately. He's pressed felony charges for theft of services.
Well, just a second. Now that I'm going to hear, if you want me to. You were arrested?
I was not arrested, no. I was served with the paperwork.
On what date?
I'm sorry, I didn't bring my original docket. Not prepared as much as I thought I was.
Okay. You're not prepared
Wait,
to
what?
do
Then
that
why
part
did
of your
you
counterclaim.
have it
And
on
if
your
you're not, I
counterclaim
would
if you're not
suggest
prepared
that
to
you
argue
allow
the
me
case?
To
What?
dismiss it without prejudice and file it along with what I assume will be his case now in the state of New Jersey. Good.
Judge,
What do you want?
Dang, she sounds like an angry parent at this point. I think I would just let it go at this point.
Car back. This is him driving the car to his jobs, and he states, super duper stoked to have found the best mechanic around to have my caddy back on the road again.
Wonderful.
From his social
Wonderful.
media.
You tell that to the judge in New Jersey. The cases are dismissed without prejudice.
So he was a very confusing person. The other guy was a very confusing person. To me, at least. So there you have it, guys. They both didn't lose, but they both lost in her court. I thought he was going to win. That was just me prejudging. I thought he was going to win. That guy was very confusing in my eyes. That's just me. But the other guy, don't he sound like the guy from Napoleon Dynamite? This guy, that's all I could think about when he was talking was him. But anyways, thanks for watching, guys. Subscribe if you haven't. Peace out.